Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Advocate Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have two important topics, two very important topics for today's show, in which the first one is New York State Governor Hochul did a great thing. She did a great thing by rejecting Mayor-elect Mamdani's proposal to tax the rich and to make all New York City buses free. So that's the first topic for today's show. The second topic for today's show is New York State Governor Hochul is considering on raising corporate taxes. So let's get right into this. Um, New York State Governor Hochul did a great thing when she squashed the two proposals that Mayor-elect Mamdani um, was considering, and in which he wanted to raise to tax the filthy rich people, the top 1%, and to also make all New York City buses free. So that would have destroyed those two things right there would have destroyed New York City. So New York State Governor Hochul did a really good job in squashing those two ideas, those two plans. She squashed them. And um but now this thing kind of the both topics for today's show kind of intertwine with one another, because as Governor Hochul squashed those two proposals, those two ideas from uh, Mayor-elect Mamdani, New York State Governor Hochul is only considering, there's nothing written in stone right now, but she's considering raising corporate taxes. Now, we have to realize a couple of things here. The Republican-controlled federal government gave huge federal tax breaks to filthy rich people, major corporations. States rely on those taxes, right? So the federal government, the Republican-controlled federal government, they gave huge tax breaks to the filthy rich people, the major corporations, on a federal level. And now, like I said, states rely on these taxes, so New York State governor is she's just considering on raising uh for the state level taxes, uh for state level corporate taxes. And not by much, just a tiny little bit. I don't know exactly how much, so don't hold me to this. I maybe 2%. So now these are filthy, disgusting rich people, major corporations who can actually afford this small, tiny little uh, corporate tax increase, because states are suffering. And why are states really suffering? Because of the fact that the Republican controlled federal government made major cuts to such important, vital programs for poor people, people who are elderly and disabled. So, to make up for this difference, Governor Hochul is considering raising corporate taxes. I mean, the Republican-controlled federal government got together so fast, and passed legislation so fast to give huge tax breaks on a federal level for federal taxes. They gave huge federal tax breaks to the filthy rich major corporations. But the Republican-controlled federal government gave the middle finger to poor people, the elderly and the disabled, and did nothing to help them. But the federal government, the Republican-controlled federal government, did major slashes to Medicare and Medicaid and food stamps. And on top of that now, on top of all that, the Republican-controlled federal government is going to hurt poor people, elderly and disabled even more by not extending the healthcare subsidies for the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, or some people know it as Obamacare. So seriously, the Republican-controlled federal government gave the middle finger to poor people, the elderly and the disabled. Seriously. So this is all going to really hurt the Republicans next year in the midterm elections. It's going to really hurt them. I mean, people on Medicare and Medicaid, they started to feel that pain. They started already to feel that pain from the cuts that the Republican-controlled federal government did to Medicare and Medicaid. But everybody's going to really feel this pain come next month in January of next year, 2026. So the real pain is going to start then, because of what the Republican-controlled federal government did. And slashing, they really cut Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and now the ACA. So people are going to really start to feel that pain starting next month. And with that being said, then the Republicans are going to really feel the pain come next year in the midterm elections. And that's one of the reasons why you know who in the White House is trying so desperately hard with other Republicans to gerrymander uh, the maps for elections. They're trying to mess with the elections for next year in the midterm elections. Seriously, so because the Republicans know that they screwed up big time. So, but you know what? No matter what they try to do to mess with the elections, it's not going to work. It's going to backfire. And the Republicans are going to feel the pain that they installed on the American people. They're going to feel that pain come next year in the midterm elections, no matter what they try to do to mess with the elections. So, but anyways, I want to remind all my fans out there about my website, African Information Highway. The link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. You guys can check out all the pages on there. And so with that, take care, everybody. Bye.